So let's move on to item 7, which is Chair's business. So I have four items to update people on today. The first is on Barton House, which you will know is the block in Barton Hill that we had to evacuate, moving tenants into the Holiday Inn. The current state is the works have been done on Barton House to bring it to a point where it can be declared safe, both with confirmation of the engineers and with Avon Fire Rescue Service, which is incredibly pleasing that happened on time. All the residents who were in the Holiday Inn have now left the Holiday Inn. 6 tenants have made applications for homelessness rather than returning to their flats. And those applications are being assessed. 5 of those 6 are in temporary accommodation, as they do when they apply for their application for their homelessness. We'll continue to work with anyone who wants to submit an application, and obviously their application will be, assessed according to their circumstances. What I want to say about this whole challenging time for the residents and our staff is that we have been able to help move the majority of people back in to Barton House. We put safety first. As soon as we had the report saying the building wasn't safe at that moment in time, we moved people into the Holiday Inn. So we did the right thing, moving people out, did the right thing in putting people in the hotel, covering meals, travel, provided mental health support. And I think there's been some great work done by our partners and in the city in bringing the building into a state of safety. And also, there's been lots of support to people and moving back into their flats. I would say it's not been easy. It's not been an easy journey. Some of the challenges that have been faced were not necessarily challenges that needed to be faced. When our engineers first tried to enter the block to begin the work of the deeper investigation into Barton House, they were blocked from entering the stairwell by people who ultimately delayed the start of that work to bring the building back into use. We needed to access every flat in Barton House to install the fire safety measures. Every flat needed to be treated for fire and Legionnaires before anyone could move back in, and yet still we had resistance. One resident in particular would not allow us into their flat to do the works which held up the whole block. And then ultimately, quite sadly, one of the measures we had to undertake on Barton House to make it safe was to install fire alarms. And what we found was that the fire alarms were actually stolen. Someone was arrested, the thief was arrested and the thief was caught. But it's quite remarkable that in a building like that, when we're putting those safety measures in place, not just for those people returning, but for those people who, against our advice, had decided to stay in Barton House, that someone went and actually stole the fire alarms. They were, as I said, they were subsequently caught, and the police took appropriate action. Along with this, we've been concerned about a fair degree of alarm caused to residents, many of whom have been vulnerable with the circulation of misinformation just about the state of the building and the nature of the work we've done. And 2 things I'd add to that. One is I received, it was really saddened to have to read a letter that was sent by the Bristol Muslim Strategic Leaders Group to Acorn, saying that a number of residents had reported feeling harassed and bullied by their activists. So that was, it's unfortunate that the Bristol Muslim Strategic Leaders Group had to write to that organisation in an effort to relieve some of the pressure that was being applied to residents in the flats. And I was also incredibly concerned that the Green Group co-signed a letter with Acorn about reallocating housing or prioritising housing, which showed absolutely no understanding of the scarcity of our housing stock and the pressures of the housing waiting list, and asking us to prioritise people cannot be done without deprioritising others. So it has to be a citywide fair system for everyone in Bristol to maintain its legitimacy. And for political leaders to sign up to that is poor form.